This segment is sponsored by Travis W. Watkins Tax Resolution and Accounting Firm. Hey everybody, it's Tax Tip Tuesday, and Oklahoma tax lawyer Travis Watkins joins us here to talk about the 5 things you never tell the IRS. Now, Travis, some people believe that they can't afford good legal representation when talking and trying to negotiate tax problems with the IRS on their own. If that is actually a big deal, there are some things we should talk about and some things we should not talk about. Let's go over those 5 we should not bring up.
Yeah, you bet. And before we get started, I want to make sure that we're clear here. The things that we're talking about here are collection matters with the IRS. If somebody shows up at your door with a badge from the IRS and they're from the criminal investigation department of the IRS, you shouldn't be talking to them really, period.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you need to call a lawyer and get a tax lawyer to talk to them on your behalf, so you're not talking to them.
So what you're saying is don't hide things, just
Right.
let somebody professionally answer these questions.
That's right.
And so these are the things.
Yeah, so if you are facing a collection matter, you owe the IRS, then that's what we're talking about here today. And you feel like you want to talk to them and you're not going to get in too much trouble by talking to them, then here's the things that we need to talk about.
First and foremost, never give details over the phone. Why so?
Right. They don't ask you for payment information over the telephone at the IRS, really ever. And there's so many scams out there right now. A lot of people calling and saying that they're from the IRS. We're getting ready to send the police out. If you don't give us your credit card number right now or tell us where you bank, that's not the IRS. So don't even go there with the IRS either. They're going to send out correspondence when it comes to asking for financial information. Okay, let's say you are talking to someone from the IRS. Your next step is never to volunteer information. Right, right. Yeah, the second one, don't ever volunteer things that the IRS isn't asking you for specifically. You can run into a lot of trouble there by disclosing more than you have to. The IRS is looking, in most cases, if you owe them money, for either to set up some type of a payment plan or to get onto a schedule there where you're paying them. So you don't need to tell them, things about where you work, how you got into this mess. They really don't care about that stuff anyway. It's just best to stick to the questions that are asked. All righty. Next one is never lie or fudge the truth at all. That goes pretty much for everything, but why so much with the IRS? Yeah, now you're starting to talk about things like fraud. If you tell the IRS something that's untrue and they later find out that it's untrue. So always, stick to the truth. It's much easier to remember anyway. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you never have to worry about the wrong things happening, especially too when you're dealing with figures and numbers and that sort of thing. I think they'll obviously see beyond that. It's like, okay, we can understand that. But if you're talking about hiding lots of money, you could see how that could be a huge deal. Right. You can always say, hey, look, I just don't recall. I need to go check on that before I give you an answer. Is an acceptable answer to an IRS person also. All right, never lose your cool. Yes. I think that is self-explanatory, but why so with the IRS? Well, I mean, these are people on the other end of the line that you're talking to at the IRS, so let's not forget, I mean, you catch more flies with honey, I guess, than getting nasty with them. It can be frustrating to talk to the IRS sometimes, and if you're not getting your point across or you feel like they're not hearing what you have to say, to lose your cool, and that's just no way to handle things with the IRS. Right. In the long run, IRS, they're going to win. I mean, they're going to come after you for one reason or another. Just remember, the other person, they're doing their job. That's right. They're not trying to go after you. And I've never heard of anybody talking to the IRS on their own that have actually talked their way out of a problem with the IRS. I mean, it's best, like we talked about, to stick to the truth and to stick to the things that they're asking you about, and really getting into details of why things happened isn't going to be something that they listen to. Finally, one thing that I always have a problem with, number 5, just don't keep talking. Yes. Yeah. I mean, once you have gotten your payment plan or whatever you've worked out with the IRS going there, it's best to just stop and not go any further.
That's the way you need to go all together. And of course, if you want to circumvent any of these problems, why not go with the experts? Travis W. Watkins Tax Resolution and Accounting Firm. They can do all the talking for you. They're located at 3033 Northwest 63rd Street, Suite 200E. Now, their phone number is 405-607-1192. You can call them toll free at 800-721-7054. And of course, you can find them online at traviswatkins.com.